That's a nice tuck. Does it come in men's sizes?
This tragedy of an event begins with one of the most cringe jokes back in the day, asking if the suit someone is wearing comes in men's sizes. Well, as usual, I gotta think optimistically. Also, I want to apologize for the crappy quality you see for this video, but hey, it's next to impossible to try and find a good quality version of Heroes of Wrestling. I'll send it just because this quality is crap, but it's the best I got. Based on what happens tonight, the quality of this video is the least of our problems. Or Michael St. John, caught in the middle of a brawl. Oh, the old days. The entire existence of Randy Rosenblum's commentary. Also, couldn't make a simple gesture that Gordon Solie was going to be absent. I can understand if you don't want to bring up why he's gone, but he's not even mentioned at all during this broadcast, nor was any announcement made of any changes prior to the event going on the air.
Snuka, it's gonna be a classic.
This event is a perfect example as to why fans shouldn't automatically figure that a match is going to be a classic all just because of who's competing. Names is one thing, but match quality only counts when it actually takes place. Also, literally every single one of these matches are labeled grudge matches. Now that I see it, I believe Grudge Clash would be a far better name than Heroes of Wrestling, because tonight they're proving that they're anything but heroes of professional wrestling. Surprised the main event isn't labeled as Grudge Main Event. That won't matter as it will be randomly changed to an impromptu tag team match, which was honestly the biggest mistake they could have ever done. Next, they'll let Randy be a commentator.
Somebody's gonna get their ass whooped.
And we're not talking about the wrestlers either. We mean that your brain cells are going to get their ass whooped when you hear the commentary. And besides, I figure for the 400th sin video, I test the brain cells on my optimistic empire. Time to see if I'm capable of sending this while you're capable of watching this without blowing up.
Fatu and Samu.
The ring announcer is announcing the arrival of the Samoan SWAT team, yet the graphics are showing Marty Jannetty, who is on the opposing side.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
For the first time ever, I'm actually glad that wrestling actually decided to stick with the term once in a lifetime. Pre-match promo.
These guys are going at it before we even start.
By doing absolutely nothing.
Because of my years in the business.
The bell has rung, the first match is now commencing, and yet the audio technicians forgot to turn off the damn entrance music.
Marty Jannetty starts for his team over there.
Samu is a freaking idiot by turning his back on Marty and posing on the ropes.
They're certainly not trying to win any friends.
And they're not doing a very good job of it.
Dutch Mantell says that the SST are not making any friends, to which Randy responds that they're not doing a good job of it. So from Randy's perspective, the SST are easily making friends. Dumbass. Posing, 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 Jesus!
Oh, what a leg kick.
I know that eventually I'm going to have to point out Randy's constant botches, but I've already lost my mind at the start. Since all rules got thrown out the window 2 months ago, I am immediately thrown in 1,000 sins for every single botch and lack of knowledge that's called in this video, starting with referring to a drop kick as a leg kick.
Cuts him and throws him down.
This ring definitely needs a caution wet floor sign.
Round one.
There are no rounds in wrestling, Dutch.
I don't know what they're talking about. They're probably talking
But you've been up there. You've been through this.
Randy thinks that just because Dutch has been in the wrestling business, he can easily tell what Samoan wrestlers are saying. Learning the Samoan language isn't a requirement to be in the wrestling business. Another lack of knowledge attack.
Crowd on hand here tonight.
Wrestler accidentally takes out his own partner cliche.
Comes in there. Reversal and slam takedown.
Reversal and slam takedown? Oh my god, I'm in excruciating pain.
Got an arm drag.
In wrestling, a commentator shouldn't have to remind his colleague on the correct names of wrestling moves. How the hell did we find this asshole anyway?
Kazuna, we're talking about King.
What the hell's even going on in this match?
You know, just because you don't see the...
Tommy Rogers is a dick to the Samoan Savages. Sorry that I couldn't come up with something cooler, but since his name is the Samoan Savage, that's all I could come up with at the moment.
Oh,
Slams him down.
That's known as a cross body, you buffoon.
Yeah, he's making these Samoans manly.
The strategical maneuver outside.
You actually think that randomly yelling at a fan is a strategical maneuver?
Oh!
I would say that the Samoan Savage got his payback, but unfortunately it wasn't Marty Jannetty who kicked him in the groin earlier.
Samu hammering away.
Randy believes an Irish whip is known as hammering away. Let that sink in. To all who wanted me to send this event, are you trying to kill me?
Comes Fatu with that choke.
The referee was clearly looking at the direction of the chair shot and somehow didn't see it.
He got it. He got the
make it.
tag, and here comes Fantastic Tommy.
Samoan Savage was clearly watching Tommy, even before Tommy leaped over the top rope and didn't take advantage for whatever reason.
For the
Off
ride.
the ropes and the flying leg kick.
Gosh darn it! Even our non-wrestling fans know what a freaking drop kick is.
Coming out, and there's a body slap.
Power slam.
Slap.
He got under.
What a devastating kick to the air.
Hammer Valentine making his way to the ring.
This event is not even using wrestlers' entrance themes at all, despite the fact that the wrestlers do have music to their entrance. What's going on here?
I think he needs to concentrate on Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Dutch Mantell would be great as CinemaSins 2 expansion. Stalking, biting, staring, stalling.
I think Animal cares about the rules.
The referee is counting George Steele despite the fact that he's not even doing anything. Is it illegal to be in the corner when nobody is delivering offense to you? That one moment when a majority of this match is George being assaulted by both Greg the Hammer Valentine and Sherry while having his shirt covering his head.
That's where they are.
Giving random high fives to the referee.
Okay, baby. Oh!
How in the ever-loving fuck did the referee not see that chair shot? His peripheral vision must really suck as well as his hearing. That's a double sin.
That's it. Oh, with assist.
Victory due to outside interference is always a sin.
Oh, he sends her over the top.
Post-match assault, even though that was funny to see Sherry go flipping out of the ring. No one will be seated during the George Steele randomly throws chairs in the ring upon losing the match in his girlfriend phase. No sound, just bad microphone frequency.
Maybe a wrestler that hasn't gotten.
The music of 2 Cold Scorpio is the same music Julio Fantastico came out to. That's honestly more lazy than not coming out to music at all. Also, while we're on the subject of Julio Fantastico, I'd like to point out that this was apparently his first ever pay-per-view appearance, on a night dedicated to the heroes of wrestling. Well, that's just stupid. 2 Cold Scorpio has the WCW Heavyweight Championship despite the fact that he's not even the WCW Heavyweight Champion. And if that's just a replica, then that's just sad.
One of the greatest events of all time.
That's the funniest joke I've ever heard.
Who's quicker? Who can move around? Who can...
So we're just going to ignore what's going on in the ring, all just because Captain Lou Albano is on commentary, which, no offense, is annoying the entire match.
Mobility and the leg drop.
A drop kick is not called a motherfucking leg drop! I truthfully don't know how much embarrassing commentary I can take anymore.
By Scorpio.
Whoa!
Slams him down.
Are you ever going to learn that it's called an arm drag, idiot?
Off the ropes. Oh, and the elbow knocked down.
Shoulder tackle. The elbow had nothing to do with it, dipshit.
Outside the rings. Look at that. The flying kick.
I honestly should have renamed this video Everything Wrong with Randy Rosenblum's Commentary now that I think about it.
Over the top!
The hell was that supposed to be?
Whoa!
It honestly looked like 2 Cold Scorpio actually countered Julio, and yet 2 Cold takes a majority of the damage somehow.
The smart... Oh, wait a minute. Look at the... Oh!
I'm going to hell for this, but I almost laughed my ass off when that kid got blasted in the face by Julio when he got thrown over the barricade. But still, poor kid. Wonder if he considered becoming a wrestler just to find Julio and exact his revenge.
Guardrail.
Julio's addicted to Cold Scorpios.
I think he's just too tough.
How about with the flying kick?
You'd think after the first botch, Randy would have known what a dropkick is, but this is what, the 5th or 6th time he's fucked it up?
Maybe a suplex off the top rope.
That's called a superplex, dumbass. A commentator for wrestling should really pass a knowledge course before actually being qualified to call in matches.
Right here.
Julio somehow didn't get disqualified for shoving the referee. Also, all throwing the referee into the ropes did was cause 2 Cold Scorpio to sit back down. Great, you just force him to have to get all the way back up instead of causing pain.
Top rope. Oh. The tumbleweed.
2 Cold Scorpio wins the match by missing his opponent completely.
Albano takes the helmet.
Random promotions, because why the hell not, I suppose.
Irania Club demonstration.
Oh, he's doing the Russian.
Nikita announces that the Iron Sheik is about to perform the Iranian club demonstration, but proceeds to give Nikolai Volkoff the microphone so that he can perform the Russian national anthem. What the freaking hell am I doing with my life?
The men from down under.
Because of copyright, apparently, they couldn't refer to Luke and Butch as the Bushwhackers, so instead we're going to call them the really cringe name, the Men from Down Under. Honestly, I would have been just fine if they were called not the Bushwhackers.
I know you.
It may be their thing, but I gotta sing grown adults for licking children on pay-per-view television. Pre-match assault, also attacking from behind.
You know what the short end of the stick is, right?
There's a tag team match going on, an aggressively disastrous one at best, and all we're talking about is the short end of a stick.
Wait a minute. Tags, and they're both in.
You see, when you have old wrestlers competing against each other, you're just causing your heroes of wrestling to become shells of the men they used to be. And I'm saying this with all due respect. Perhaps Heroes of Wrestling is what inspired WWE to use old legends as part-timers getting the spotlights and humiliating their careers in the process.
Wait a minute.
Like seriously, who lands from a clothesline like that?
The former Bushwhackers, the men from...
This makes absolutely no sense. The Bushwhackers, the Men from Down Under, are starting up a USA chant. Why the hell would they do that? Literally none of these wrestlers are from the United States. Nikolai Volkoff is from Russia, the Iron Sheik is from Iran, and the Bushwhackers are from New Zealand. Where's the sense in any of this?
Oh, in Iran.
Alright, I've just about had enough of this crap. Since we're just gonna do anything but wrestle tonight, I'm throwing in 100 sins for every sin I count in this one match. Except for Randy's commentary, which remains as it is. Walking, walking, walking! Not the verb we're looking for in a wrestling match.
The Heroes of Wrestling.
Luke not only reacted to that big boot a little too late, but also fell in the wrong direction. That's 2 sins for the price of 1. and we all know what's happening with every sin being counted in this match.
Right on top of the head.
At this point, the fans are chanting USA because none of these wrestlers are from the USA, I assume. This match is still going on!
Here, spending a lot of dough.
A more appropriate name for this event would definitely be Wrestling Hell, because I feel like I'm in hell watching this show. Oh, the things I do for my empire.
Well, look at that pose. Look at that pose by the Iron Sheik.
Well, I would look at the pose from the Iron Sheik, except for the fact that the cameras are focusing on Luke trying to catch his breath. Butch spends a majority of this match distracting the referee and causing Luke to be dominated by the Sheik and Nikolai. Butch is a dick to his own partner.
What a vicious tag team that was.
You know, I was going to call someone to be a guest narrator for this video, but the moment I mentioned Heroes of Wrestling, every response was, "Oh my god, you're gonna die," along with petrified screams before they hung up the phone. Now I know why they said that.
He's got that bear hug.
How the hell is that a bear hug? The pain never stops.
A soft slam.
For once, Randy got something right. That was the softest slam I have ever seen.
15 or 16 shoe that
Help me!
he needs to make that tag and see if he can make the tag.
No joke, Dutch literally says he needs to make that tag as if he can make the tag, which basically means he doesn't think it's physically possible for a tag to be made. And I thought Randy's commentary was atrocious.
Showing great speed.
Great speed, my ass.
1, 2, 3, it's over.
The referee likely gave this a fast count because he, like me, is doing everything he can not to lose his sanity from this match. Seriously, this is why having old legends compete against each other is the worst idea ever in wrestling. Also, because of this match's existence and the completely shit quality it was all the way through, I'm multiplying the sin counter by 100. Trust me, it's the only way to keep myself alive when we're already at the halfway point of this event.
It's Tully Blanchard.
Because who the hell else would it be?
It's Tully Blanchard, one of the Four Horsemen.
That is literally the most forced reaction I have ever heard from an interviewer. This guy probably doesn't even know who Tully Blanchard is.
What in the world is happening?
Just shut the hell up already. You're ruining the whole show with your lame reactions.
I am the original.
Self-introduction. The only match of the night that was considered decent starts off with more boredom, kind of like the first half of this show and the remaining half of this show.
Ooh, nice takedown.
It's called a clothesline, you Nimrod. How many sins have I added in total, all just because of Randy's bad commentary?
I don't think the crib was...
Tully Blanchard gets thrown into the ring post and both Randy and Dutch ignore it.
You never had a fight in your life. See, I've fought all my...
Pay attention to the freaking match! Tully is a veteran, right? Even he should know that you can't win a traditional wrestling match on the outside of the ring.
3.
Is that it? That's Stan Lane win?
Dutch and Randy are without a doubt the worst commentators wrestling has ever seen before. They don't even seem remotely interested in the fact that this match ended in confusion. Also, since the decision was reversed when officials realized Tully got his shoulder up at the last second, Stan Lane ends up losing by pinning himself. Think about that. More muted microphones. Even the audio technicians suck at their job.
You know, he's contemplating.
One-man gang is tossing so many chairs into the ring, completely forgetting about the fact that this match doesn't have no disqualification rules. Then again, his opponent is Abdullah the Butcher, so I assume rules automatically get thrown out the window when he arrives.
That is the mask.
The referee calls for the bell to ring, and the timekeeper literally waits a full 10 seconds before deciding to ring it. When the referee calls for the bell to ring, you ring the bell.
He's not...
One-man gang is not only gently tapping at Abdullah's head with a chain, but he's also stomping on the mat as if he was delivering punches. It doesn't work like that when you're using a weapon against him.
Favored here.
And what's worse about this is one-man gang stomping is off sync from his attacks.
Into our location.
Softest throw into the ring post ever gets an additional 5 cents. Not only does this event have some of the worst wrestling ever, but it also has some of the softest wrestling ever. Abdullah is not even reacting to any of the kicks to the head. Good lord, this is stupid. Blood tasting. I've seen a lot of hardcore wrestling over the years, but a fork peeling away at the skin made one of my friends who reviewed this event vomit.
Onto our table, there goes.
And now we've had the match randomly end with both Abdullah and one-man gang start fighting outside the ring. Ends because... reasons. Nice. Can we please move on? Also, post-match assault. Previously on Heroes of Wrestling. Or previously on... Okay, I've got nothing for this one. We'll just say previously on Heroes of Wrestling. Also, this match between Jimmy Snuka and Bob Orton is a grudge match all because Bob cheats at card games. Yep, you heard me. Oh, and he has Captain Lou Albano with him too. Over a full minute of Jimmy Snuka taking off his pre-match gear. I bet Bob Orton is just as bored as I am.
He's coming over here, wants to do the announcing.
No. Please, no more commentary from Lou. The first time it was very cringe.
What?
The high flyer.
I was watching Jimmy the whole time and could have countered or moved out of the way at any moment. I've said a lot of negative things, but this is the first time I said that phrase in this video. If so, I'm actually shocked. If not, oh well, I'm still counting it.
Turn the clock back tonight.
Something we forever regret doing. WWE, on the other hand, doesn't think the same way years later. They turn back the clock, it ends up sucking, but they keep doing it anyway.
Nostalgia is in.
Isn't it ironic that events made specifically for nostalgia are the ones that end up sucking the most in wrestling history?
Of course, we have the former Yokozuna.
The former Yokozuna? I get that they're trying to avoid copyright, but really? That's the best thing you could come up with?
But they've been in the ring so much.
There is no need to be quarreling like an old married couple.
If the camera get in there close on Orton's face, Orton is a very...
Dutch requests the cameraman to zoom in on Bob's face, and the camera ends up zooming in on Jimmy's face instead. Wrong wrestler, dumbass. I got nothing against wearing your opponent down in wrestling matches, but when literally half the entire match is one single arm submission to wear down Jimmy, that's when it's going a little too long. Bob is a faggot, chant. Let me take a nap on your nipples.
They both look...
This has got to be the worst case of officiating I have ever seen. I've seen stupid referees make stupid decisions before, but hesitating to see if the shoulders are down when they obviously are is no doubt the worst ever. Here's another 50 cents.
2.
And that was also a clear 3 count before Jimmy got his shoulder up. Take another 50 for not knowing how to count.
Gets the win.
I am sinning parents. Why? Because the majority of the fans chanting Bob is a faggot are kids! What parents allow their children to cuss like that? Mama Maracle would have kicked my ass, and I say that with experience. Severely intoxicated Jake the Snake Roberts and his time on this event deserves a million sins just for being completely wasted.
You want to play 21? I got 22. You want to play blackjack? I got 2 of those too.
Also, just look at the adjective, play, and don't forget that you're only half the man that I am and I have half the brains that you do. The coolest entrance of the night goes to the most intoxicated wrestler of the night. Wow. Where the hell do you think you're Oh, wait, that's right. Even the slight chance of this event being good is ruined by Jake's intoxication. I'm already pissed off that I gotta sin this event in the first place. The sin counter may be invincible from destruction, but it's cramming a lot of sins in a short period of time.
He was one of the first to come.
And now he's forcing women to grab at his chest. How is this event still being broadcasted? Jim Neidhart is doing exactly what I want to do at this point. This just isn't worth it.
Roberts and Jake the Snake.
Roberts and Jake the Snake? Randy, that's the same guy!
Goes the anvil and he pokes him in the eye.
And now Randy believes that a punch to the face is a poke to the eye. You heard that correctly. This makes Crown Jewel 19 years later look like the greatest wrestling event of all time. The moment I see an intoxicated Jake Roberts simulate masturbation with a snake is the moment I multiply the sin counter by 100, as this is just getting worse and worse by the second.
How do I know? Wait a minute.
Cut the feed off from this entire show already! Sorry, but combining the 2 main events into a tag team match isn't going to change the fact that Jake has basically ruined everything by drinking heavily. And even if he was sober, this entire show is pathetic. Fighting.
I don't think Jake knows where he is.
No shit, really?
With Bundy,
Jake is addicted to Jim's Neidharts.
1, 2, 3.
I can understand a quick count and a disregard of the fact that Jake wasn't even the legal wrestler in this final pinfall, but I still gotta sin it. Thank God that this is over, and thank God that I survived with only a little bit of mental trauma.